Welcome to the Life's Necessities and Luxuries radio show. Today, our host, Dawn Marie Mutel, your life's commodities broker, will bring you fashion, beauty tips, business acumen, teach you where to find the life's greatest necessities and the finest luxuries. Now, here's Dawn Marie.
Welcome back to another episode of Life's Necessities and Luxuries. I'm your host, Dawn Marie Mutel, and today I want to cover something that I did this week, and it made me think to share it with you guys. And that is, what do you do when you want to shop for makeup, but everything is sealed up and you just can't try on the colors, right? So I found that, when you go to a counter at a department store, I don't find using those colors that are there for sampling to be really hygienic, because I just feel like people are putting their fingers in there. Nobody really cares about it. And as a makeup artist, when I was a skin technician at the counters, I would make sure that I would use like my own palettes as best as I could, or just if I had to open up a new box of something for somebody because something didn't look right, I would do that. And it's important not to be sampling all of those things. Even if you go to an Ulta or you go to a Sephora, be really wary about using those samples. Now, what I do instead is I'll grab the colors that I want and I'll go home and try them on. If they don't look right, because I like to also see colors in the daylight. So if you buy any kind of foundations or even eyeshadows and stuff like that, or even your lipstick, put it on and then go step outside and then take a mirror and look at it, because you may see that doesn't look the same as it did in the store, because the store lights, the fluorescent lighting, and it's all a different lighting, the more yellowish tinted and stuff like that. So usually, if you don't know your skin temperature, like your temperature will also base not only your clothing colors, but also on your makeup colors. So if, for instance, if you're a cool-based skin temperature, which means that you have more of the pink undertone, then you're going to look for something that have more berry colors to it. Pinks are great. You could even do purples, and neutrals are fine too. Neutrals work for everybody basically, but if you wanted color per se, then look for those colors. And if you are a warm temperature, that you have more of a golden undertone, or like think of Beyonce or a Jennifer Lopez, where it's just more golden, then look for colors that you could wear the shimmers, the gold in it. You can wear the browns and the taupes, and also you could do greens are very nice, but using the right green. So you may want to find like an olive green. Now you can also wear an olive green if you are cool based. Look at the shades of olive. Some of them are deeper and some of them are a little bit brighter. So if you do have the cool, you want to go with a little bit of a deeper color, and you can add some gold to it. If you want to make yourself more golden, you can always do that by adding some sheen and some bronzer to give you more of a golden glow. But be careful, if you're really, really fair skinned, you don't want to put too much of that on, because then it's going to look orangey and it's just going to look fake. Whereas if you do, go for a spray tan, just go for the lighter color one so that you don't come out looking like a Oompa Loompa, So you could do it yourself, pick up some of the tanning cream. I like by Jergens, I think. They have a skin milk that has a self-tanner in there. But just be careful when you use self-tanner that you do not use your bare hands, because you're going to have orange palms. And if you do end up with orange palms, just take some fresh squeezed lemon and some sea salt, rub it together and then keep rinsing them. And that should make it come off of your skin. Or it's going to take 7 days for it to, wear off. But be careful when using self-tanner. But it is a great way to give you that golden glow if you do not naturally have a golden undertone. And especially during the wintertime, right? Because we get a little bit depressed, we get a little sad. I used to get a seasonal affective disorder, which I didn't know I had. And every winter would come and I just feel really blah. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. I had felt lethargic. Now I know we're supposed to, be like the bears in the cave and hibernate and all that good stuff. But since you're in New York City, you want to do stuff, you want to go to events. And it's not like the weather's going to stop me from getting to an event, unless, of course, there's a snowstorm or something like that. But I found that when I would come down to Florida on my little weekend stints there, I would feel so much better, so much happier. And I realized I'm seeing the grass, I'm seeing the trees, I'm seeing blue skies, I'm seeing the sunlight, and I got the sand in my toes, and the water felt great on my body. And I could sense that there was a disconnect when I'd go back home and I'd fly into JFK or LaGuardia or Newark, and it just was gray and dull and blah. And it was depressing, right? So in my 30s, I learned about this seasonal affective disorder. And I said, that's what I have. So if you have this and you find that the winters really start to get to you, then add more lights in your home. Try to get outside in the sunlight for at least, 20 minutes a day to get that sun. And then lift your face up to the sun and let it hit your thyroid and get some extra vitamin D in there. I used to have a lot more plants and fresh flowers around my house during those times because the colors of the flowers and the scents and the fragrance, and I would light a lot of candles that had fragrance to kind of lift the spirit. So just try to do those things. Add some more color just with your clothes. Just because it's wintertime doesn't mean that you can't wear a pink sweater, right? Or you can't wear a bright blue jacket that could be gorgeous. But, we think of those tropical colors just as summertime colors, but it's not necessarily the case. So what else can we do? But I want you to realize if you did buy makeup, let me go back to that. If you do buy makeup and you don't like it, now guess what? You can return it.
Be sure to ask the store about their return policy because you don't want to buy makeup and then not be able to return it, and be sure to keep your receipts. So I just want to make sure that you know the store's policies before you go buy your products.
You just need to tell them, yes, I opened the package. Yes, I tried it, so that they do not put it back. Because, you wouldn't want to buy something that somebody else tried on, right? And you want to be careful if you let people use your makeup, even if it's your kids or whatever, don't let them use your mascaras and don't let them use your lipsticks. Now, I say this because those two items can carry a lot of bacteria. And if you start, and if somebody has pink eye or whatever, they can pick it up very, very quickly. And you want to make sure that if you're using your brushes, that you are cleaning them at least once a week with some like a baby's shampoo and some warm water, or you can get a brush cleaner spray that I used to get from MAC when I worked with them. But you want to make sure that you're cleaning those brushes and don't keep using the same sponge. Like if you have a sponge without cleaning it, because sponges especially carry even more bacteria on them than the brushes do, believe it or not. What I like the most about the brushes is the fact that you can use a makeup brush and use a lot less product. I just put some on the back of my hand and I use my brushes and it goes a long way. You can put a very nice finish on it. And as you probably have heard me talk before about powders, I'm not really a big fan of powders. I find that they're very drying on the skin. I only put powders on if I know that I'm going to an event and it's going to be a longer evening and I want to make sure, that my makeup will stay on a little bit longer. And loose powder is a little less drying than the pressed powder. And if you're not familiar with the loose powder, comes in a bigger jar and it's loose. You got the little holes at the top and you can take a big brush, tap it off and then put it on your face. Whereas the pressed powder comes in the little compact and you got the little pad and you're going to pat it on your face. That's great, I think, when you're doing photos, when you're going to an event or weddings and things like that, and you really have to keep the makeup on longer. I know people like to have a finished look, but I feel that there's a chemical that they use in a lot of those powders because they want you to have a good slip and things like that. It's like a silicone base. And I find that the silicone, it can make you break out. So if you find that your skin is breaking out, it could be from that. I do have, another lesson on learning what your skin type is and how to care for that. So if you're interested please check that out. And I cover that in depth over there. But I just want you to think about these things, when you do go shopping for makeup, because, a lot of people spend hundreds of dollars on makeup and then they get home, they don't like them. And what happens? They sit in the drawer, they never get used, and they wasted all that money. I had a good friend of mine, she would go and buy stuff and she would never return things. And I'm like, why didn't you return it? Was it a final sale? She'd say no. I'm saying, so why didn't you return it? And basically, I felt like she was just lazy, didn't want to go back to the store to do it. But think about the money that you can get back. I mean, why would you want to waste money? Money is very, very hard to earn and make. And it's not easy to come by. It's not like my mom was like, you really think money grows on trees? It doesn't go that way. One of the other things could be really key is just don't apply too much makeup. I find that less is more. I like using a natural look and just enhancing the natural look rather than, you put a whole face of makeup on and then here's you before and here's you after. And you're like, well, who the heck is that? You don't want your husband or your man waking up next to you and say, well, who are you? So I try to say, keep it as natural as possible. And unless you're going to be going to an event or a nightclub or where it's dark and, you need to have more makeup, or if you're doing a production of something or you're going to be filming and things like that, you may want to have more added makeup just so it shows up on camera. Now, even me, when I go on camera, to me, this is a lot of makeup, and yet it's not really a lot of makeup. And I used to go to the counter and people say, put more on. Now, I like a natural look. And I'm sorry, I don't want to put too much makeup on. Believe it or not, your face gets used to makeup. And so I know I have the dark circles under my eyes. So concealer is like my best friend. And I always say, if you have dark circles, no product out there is, even if it claims it's going to take them away and blah, 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 they don't work. It's just a freaking scam. You're going to spend all this money. Instead, what really does work is getting your rest and eating well. And if you can't have juices every day, one of the quickest things I used to do was just to make a batch, and then I would pour them in separate containers, so I'd have 5 to-go containers, and I would fill them each, and you can freeze them in the freezer and take it out the night before. Now, if you just did the juice, it can last in the refrigerator up to a day and a half or so. But if you freeze it, it can last a whole lot longer. And this was just, the lettuce and the kale and some flax seeds and things like that. So it wasn't like I was doing a whole bunch of fruits and veggies. It was just, I may take one banana and throw it into there. But I use the blender. I don't use my juicer anymore because it's such a pain in the neck to clean it. And I feel like, hey, if I can just drink it, I'm happy. So, and I can strain the pulp out. I have a funnel and a strainer so I can strain it out. I don't have to drink all of that fiber, but the fiber is actually really good for you. So if you need extra fiber, I say drink it and you get more nutrients that way. But I find that when you do the juicing and you do drink it, it does get into your system a lot faster. It does digest better. And your skin is going to start looking really, really good. And if you find that you're getting acne and it's breaking out, you may want to think about just staying away from dairy for a little bit to see if it starts to clear up, because dairy can exacerbate acne. But those are just a couple things that I wanted you to think about, because, I hate seeing people go to the stores buying makeup and then, never returning it, wasting their money because they were not happy with the colors or of the slip of it, or they just didn't like the product for whatever reason. And then they just waste money. I would like to do a show that's more frequently. It's been tough because I just have a lot going on, and I'm still looking for a contract job out there. It's been really, really tough since COVID. I'm 9 months without my contract jobs, and it's been really, really gruesome. And so I've just been working, trying to find something else. And I do have some courses that I have out there now. So if you're interested in learning some more about skincare and fashion and how to style yourself and how to look good if you're over 40, some of these things are really geared to that. And you might check out my new show that I have coming up, which hasn't launched yet, but I'm excited to say, where I'm going to be teaching more about fashion and beauty for women over 40. As a stylist, I want to teach you guys some of the things that I've learned over the years and in school. So I want to be able to share that with you because I know they will help you because they've helped me. I hope that you stay warm, whatever part of the country you're in. And I know some people in some places are getting hit with some snow. So get your snow booties on, go for a nice walk, be careful, don't slip on anything, make sure that there's no ice around you. But try to still get outside, even though the weather's been a little bit off. Just, add those extra layers on. I used to wear 50 pounds of clothes when I worked in New York City just because, I'd be going back and forth through the trains and it was a lot, but I did want to still walk. I still wanted to get outside and get some fresh air. So I just put on all those layers. I would find really nice, heavy cable knit sweaters that were like coats. They were really, really warm. And so if you're looking to shop, I'm just going to throw this in here right now while I think about it. If you're looking to shop for winter clothes, now it's the perfect time to get your winter clothing for next year. So if you want to get some really great quality clothes for pennies on the dollar, that's the time to shop. They're really trying to clear everything out for the spring line. And so you can rake in the rewards of it and find stuff that's probably 75, 85% off of things that have already been marked down. So think about those thigh-high boots that you wanted to buy, but they were $200 and you didn't want to spend that. Now you can probably get them for 50 or less. One of the places I used to love to go shopping, especially this time of year, would be on the, is it Neiman Marcus Last Call? First rack is, I think, Nordstrom, and then last call is Neiman Marcus. But both of those stores, I would get like the thigh-high boots and really nice winter boots for pennies, what you would have to pay in the store or online. So check it out if that's what you're looking to do to keep your fashion style looking great for next winter, right? And if you get them now, you probably still can use them between now and April, because it's still going to be cold weather wherever you may be, that if you're not, somewhere in the tropical place like Florida. And Florida has been really cold this winter. So I've been able to use my leather jackets and my boots. And I was really excited because I rarely get to use them down here. So that's been fun. All right, my lovely lifers, that's all I'm going to leave you with today. I hope you enjoy this and found value. And if you did, please share it and subscribe. It is free, FREE. And I would love for you to know every time I drop something new, you'll be aware. But thanks again for stopping by, and I will see you soon. Remember to live happily, lovingly, successfully, peacefully, necessarily, and luxuriously. See you soon.
If you like what you hear, tell someone. If you like what you hear, be a dear and pass it on. Don't forget to stop at our website, www.lifesnecessitiesandluxuries.com, for more tips, tricks, tutorials to live a very necessary and luxurious life.